On today's edition of Kung Fu Hot Dog, a special guest appearance by Jada Pinkett Smith, Charlize Theron and her transgender child, who's only 7, and also a bevy of busty beauties to keep you company.
I have just seen The Little Mermaid, and the review embargo does not lift until Monday, May 22nd at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But the social media embargo has lifted. I tweeted. So, now having seen the film, I'd always thought that Little Mermaid had a chance of making $1 billion. But now that I've seen it, I feel even more so that it will.
It's that time of the week, folks, where it's time to unpack the woke news for the last few days. Even up to today as I'm recording, it is just getting oh so more woeful. All the people on the far left who support this junk from entertainment media need to be shipped off to an island and rot to death as far as I'm concerned. If you believe that all these changes that we're seeing in media is for the greater good, you're completely wrong. I'm sorry, but you are. But you know who's not doing a better job? Giving women, insufferable women of power, to go and ruin a beloved franchise that in its heyday had nothing but love for both sexes. And of course, I said 2 genres there, and I'll get back to that story in a while. So Leslie Headland, this is our main story to begin with. She apparently is going ahead with The Acolyte for Disney+. Now, this is a Star Wars product, okay? It's in that Star Wars universe. Well, not the universe that we used to know and like. This is the Kathleen Kennedy universe of Star Wars. In other words, absolute dog doo-doo. I was going to look for my swear button here, but I'll find it later on for the next story that I'm going to use. So, Headland claims or confirms the upcoming Star Wars series, The Acolyte, will look into what's going on for all of us right now. So in other words, it's a commentary on current American society, culture, and politics. Can I remind you again, this is a Star Wars show. Nothing to do with America, nothing to do with socio-political climates going on. It's meant to be a Star Wars show. And of course, you got the cast here, and you got this insufferable bint in the red, Jamie Turner-Smith, our favourite Anne Boleyn of colour. Oh, she's going to be great here, isn't she? She's the one who says that Star Wars is too patriarchal. You got to make way for the matriarchy. Well, I tell you what, Jodie Turner-Smith, you carry on with that dog shit narrative, everybody is going to be unsubscribing from Disney+. I mean, Disney+ have lost so many subscribers in the last week, and then Netflix, by some strange reason, have increased in subs. So I find that hilarious that 4 years ago now, when Disney+ launched, people were saying, oh, it's going to amass this many millions of subscribers. And look what's happening. They're all abandoning the platform. It is effing hilarious. But what isn't hilarious, but then again, there are deep tones of disturbing things about this story, is Charlize Theron, of all people. Now, I used to be a big fan of hers. Thankfully, I don't own any of her movies. I came this close to buying Atomic Blonde, but something just stopped me in my tracks and said, no. She's a female John Wick. She was pretty hot in the film, but just pump the brakes, dude. You might regret it later on. And after seeing this headline, I'm glad I listened to my spidey sense back then and didn't purchase the movie. Charlize Theron warns she will F anybody up who comes for drag queens. We're in your corner, slay queens. No more room for hate, only love. Love equals drag queens. The Oscar winner proclaimed in a virtual appearance for the Drag Isn't Dangerous telethon. Now, what that telethon is all about is the fact that it's okay for people to dress in drag and to have fun with kids or to educate them, But what you're actually doing is indoctrinating impressionable kids who don't know better. You're stripping away their innocence by talking to them about gender, about identity. When I was 3 years old, I was thinking about Spider-Man and somebody called Joanne Clark, but that's a whole other story for a whole other time. But Charlize Theron, it is just disappointing to know she's come down to this. I didn't actually know she had such far-leaning politics to the left. It's so bizarre. But the video in question is this one right here, which has amassed so far just over 69,000 votes.
Friends, yes, we love you, Queen.
We love you, Queen.
I love you.
And we've got you, and I will fuck anybody up who's like trying to fuck with anything with you guys. It's really, in all seriousness.
Right, so you just heard what Theron just said there. If you come after drag queens, we're gonna F you up, says the privileged actress. But of course, what Charlize doesn't realize is that she has some very more awful, embarrassing takes regarding the kid, who's a son, by the way, a male, biologically. But you just got to hear this. This was on Entertainment Tonight. And Entertainment Tonight, by the way, oh, chef's kiss to those guys and gals, because when you hear the last story I have for you today, you are going to be cracking up. So let's just go with this, and bear with me. This is god-awfully cringe.
4-year-old and I have just literally been passing this thing back and forth.
Back and forth.
Fun. So I'm hoping to get home and not have my 7-year-old have this. Please don't have this.
Where is he?
She's at home.
She.
They're with.
Where is he? She. Wow, I'm surprised Charlize Theron didn't lose her cool in that moment. And Charlize Theron, let's not forget, she had no problem getting her tits out in the early part of her film career. Just pick up Reindeer Games. Any of the early entries with Charlize Theron, she could not wait to get her top off. I mean, as insufferable as she is, I think the true hero here is Stuart Townsend. He was dating her for quite a few years. And suddenly when he just broke up with her, or maybe she broke up with him, she wasn't the same again. And I think he was the only man ever to handle her very well. Maybe he saw the signs of her fragility before.
Where's Grandma?
Where?
In Los Angeles.
In
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That was Charlize Theron on The View Tuesday, correcting the pronoun Joy Behar used for her 7-year-old daughter, Jackson.
Where is he?
And Joy Behar must be thinking, these effing Hollywood elites, they're all the same, aren't they?
She's at home.
She.
They're with Grandma.
Now, in a new interview with Pride Source, the bombshell star admits she's always learning when it comes to parenting,
That makes me rethink all of it.
including what pronouns to use for her child, Jackson, who was assigned male at birth. Quote, "My daughter's story is really her story, and one day, if she chooses, she'll tell her story. I feel..."
Charlize Theron, you are fucked in the head. Her story's my story, and if she wants to tell the truth one day that she was born biologically a man, then maybe he will come round to that and realize he wasn't born an actual girl/woman. If this isn't the worst parent I've ever seen, I'm sure there are many more like Charlize Theron out there. I guess social services just turn a blind eye to that because, you know, Charlize Theron, C-list actress these days, she doesn't really have that commanding, pulling power like her male counterparts. Holy effing Christ. I don't know what to say anymore about bringing up kids. I've never brought up kids of my own, but by golly, if I ever do, they're staying away from this pronoun shit because it doesn't wash well with me. And also, there was that story this week, which I'm not going to feature here, but you had that Starbucks employee, who was having a go at a woman who he claimed was misgendering him, and then finally Starbucks saw the video going viral and they fired his ass straight away. So Starbucks came to their senses.
What do you think of these?
I think they're fantastic.
They're all right.
No, they're fantastic.
Someone who hasn't actually come to their senses is Ms. Grace Randolph, the epitome of insufferability herself. Now, she has seen The Little Mermaid, and of course, she is defending it to the high heavens above. Because remember, Grace Randolph, former fatty, Slimmer of the Year. She now needs that invaluable access to Disney. She's obviously made some great connections because she was a cameo in Zombieland 2, of all things. Not a very good sequel, in my opinion. Again, the only reason why I watched it was because of Emma Stone and and Woody Harrelson. But here's what she had to say in her early reaction video for The Little Mermaid. Shockingly enough, she thinks this film is going to make $1 billion at the box office and might have a chance to get a shot at being nominated in the Oscars. Now, the only reason why she's saying that, I think she believes she's got some kind of sway or influence with the motion pictures of arts and sciences. Maybe she wants a foothold in that particular a ceremonial event, which is now a joke these days. Maybe she wants to walk on a red carpet with a +1, meaning herself, who's going to date Grace Randolph. So I believe it's that, or she's trying to influence discourse to go in the right direction. And of course, as you saw in my video this week with Richard Dreyfuss, the Oscar Academy have now introduced these specific categories, so people of color and disabilities and sexualities aren't left out, which is absolutely effing ridiculous. But just pay attention to what Grace said here.
And Lightyear, while I appreciated what they were trying to do, it did not deliver the Buzz Lightyear that fans love. But with this movie, and so I think that fueled the hate. And also I think it created a situation where people didn't defend those movies. But with this Little Mermaid, you know, if anyone's hating on this, it's a reflection on them and not the film itself.
Right, so bear in mind what Grace has just said there. If you hate The Little Mermaid because she's been race swapped, it's a reflection on yourself. Just remember that she said that.
In my review on the 22nd, I will tell you what I think of the film. But I will honestly say that while it might not be for everyone, and some people might prefer the 1989 animated
Yes,
classic,
I do.
There is absolutely nothing to hate about this movie. Absolutely nothing. You know, if anyone hates on it, again, that's a commentary on themselves. As for race-bending Ariel, I continue to stand by my comments that you can't have all these Caribbean musical numbers and a white Ariel.
Gee, why people cannot be involved with using Caribbean music or Caribbean music, Grace, that's how you pronounce it, for their own entertainment values. I wonder who that reminds me of. Grace Randolph, keep coming out with the hot takes, babe, because seriously, this woman, I don't know what effing pills she has been swallowing, but quite clearly she needs to be swallowing something else, which might put her in the straight and narrow. And sticking with... This had to be the nicest drop, the funniest thing I'd seen for a long time. People were doing double takes about this. Entertainment Tonight about the Little Mermaid movie, and they had this simple headline: "She is the moment. Hashtag the Little Mermaid." The normal picture of Halle Bailey right here on the left. I just love this one. I mean, this is meme of the year, ladies and gentlemen. It really, really is. This had me laughing so much. People are going to be thumbnailing this to death, including me. Why the hell am I not going to miss out on the action? But this is great. Nina Infinity, one of my favorite YouTubers, by the way. LOL, this is why women are selective about which selfie they post. And you all thought this was a good post. Who approved the one on the right? Probably a Disney stan. When you take your picture, when your boyfriend takes your picture. LOL. Laughed my ass off. All the Disney stans crying about the new meme. I think it's absolutely hilarious. And then you got Jim Carrey, I believe that is, with his face against the window. Oh, this is just glorious. Entertainment Tonight. You went right through the roof. You were in my cool books after this. It's hilarious. And yeah, let's have a quick look at this.
On the wind, and they filled the sky with fire.
Okay, listen to me.
And you know, it's a very interesting thing I saw in Grace Randolph's very putrid video about her reaction for this film is that, well, Halle Bailey hasn't had a great wealth of acting experience, and that therein lies the problem, because if you wanted to race swap Ariel, you should have probably looked for an actress who's accomplished and maybe give her a spot under that, illuminating light for Hollywood. But you pick somebody who's probably known as a singer and a bit part actress, and you're giving her an opportunity. So what I'm actually saying is, folks, you're not hiring people on their merit. You are literally, like what Hollywood is doing at the moment, you are hiring people just because they tick a certain color demographic. Yikes. I'm glad I'm in the normal ballpark, people. And on that one, if you enjoyed this video today, I certainly had a ball making it. Make sure you leave a like below. Make sure you share this video all around. And if I were you, and if you were me, you better avoid The Little Mermaid when it comes out next month.
So, might be my birthday, but I say, here's to you.